Hey gang, it's JC and this is your Daily Dose for Monday, September 13th, 2010, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. You can get us on your mobile phone right now, archives at the top of the page, and then we also archive our eye candy right below what you're looking at right now. You have Dave Murray's weather forecast down in the corner. You can get the audio of the Daily Dose on iTunes, and we roll on with our 15-month paid vacation. Missouri gets in the news for all the wrong reasons. You know, the puppy mills and the meth labs and the gonorrhea. And now Terry Jones, the Florida preacher who was going to burn all them Korans down there in Orlando over the weekend, didn't do it. Turns out he's from Cape Girardeau. And it's even better than that because he's from the class of '69, which was the same class that produced one Mr. Rush Limbaugh. They were classmates at this Cape Girardeau High School back in 1969. Unbelievable. What was the lunch lady slipping into the food at that high school, huh? All right, I got to tell you about my Tea Party encounter on Friday afternoon. I'm driving in the vicinity of, I guess it was like Clayton and Lindbergh, and I see a van go by, and this van is covered, and I mean covered to the point where you couldn't even see what color the van was, covered from bumper to bumper with placards and bumper stickers and little wax figurines and all sorts of stuff. And so I banged a Yui and I followed her into a parking lot, and there she was checking into a hotel. And I started taking pictures of this van because it was amazing. As far as I can tell, she was for the Tea Party, she was for smoking, and basically against everything else. And after I got a pretty close look at her up close, one of the things I could tell she was apparently against also was modern dentistry. So I start talking to her, and I'm like, okay. And she's got these bumper stickers. One says CNN, Communist News Network. The other one says the NBC, nothing but crap. And then there was one that said ABC, the All Barack channel. Barack and channel were misspelled, by the way. Naturally, she assumed I was a supporter because I was taking pictures of the van, and when I told her that I wasn't, that's when she started hurling epithets and profanity at me. It was pretty interesting. You know, these Tea Party people, again, if people would just say what they are, as opposed to masquerading, calling yourself one thing and really being about something else. I'm not going to get into it. But there's a lot of people sort of fooling around with our political system right now, and they just think that if it's louder and larger and more over the top, that brings more validity to their point. And it, in fact, does not. And everybody should know that. And they should also know that about 75% of the country does not support the Tea Party, and not everybody is into this. Anyhow, I took about 5 or 6 pictures, and they are posted on JC's Eye Candy right below this frame. You can check it out. All right, Esquire magazine has done a little expose, and it turns out that all these years that I've been going to buy 36-inch waist pants, the people in the retail industry have been having a little fun with old JC, because in the case of the Gap, their 36-inch waist pants are actually 39 inches, and the Old Navy 36-inch pants are actually 41 inches. They're doing all that so that, we can feel better about ourselves. Until, of course, Esquire does the expose and we find out the truth, and then we don't feel so good. So what was the point? MTV Video Music Awards. Lady Gaga wins 8. That's the second most ever. Trivia question, real quick. Who won more? Time's up. Peter Gabriel for Sledgehammer in 1987. American Idol has made it official. Jennifer Lopez is one of their judges. They're giving her a $12 million a year deal. She wanted 15. Thinks she can get by on that. A West Virginia school district removed all of its swing sets after a student fell from one. It was a pretty bad accident, too. The kid messed up so many teeth, he looked like everyone else from West Virginia. A Georgia couple suing a supermarket chain after they found a used tampon in their box of cereal. See, that's what you get when you buy the Frosted Maxi Wheats. All right. Florida woman with a crack pipe and an open can of malt liquor asked a cop for directions. Do I really need to even finish this story? You pretty much know where it went. Let's talk about the Rams briefly. This season is not about wins and losses, okay? It's not about what the record is at the end of the season. This season for the Rams is about improvement. That's it. Improvement. And yesterday we saw a lot of it. Now, heaven knows there's still plenty wrong with this team, but you saw a lot of improvement. And if they continue to do this, then things sort of get interesting next year and the year after, if somebody doesn't get an itchy finger and pull the plug on Spagnuolo. So, you know, let's just sort of enjoy this. I think we're going to be in a lot more games this year, as was the case yesterday. And I think we're going to win a handful of games, and that's going to have to be good enough. So enjoy it, okay? Because it's fun again. As I said Friday, all Spagnuolo has to do is just not ruin the party. People just want to have a good time on Sunday and look forward to Sundays. And we haven't been able to look forward to Sundays for several years now. So Spags, don't kill the party, and you'll be just fine with everybody around here. The Cardinals, meanwhile, as far as I'm concerned, their season came to an end on Friday night when they lost that extra inning ball game in Atlanta. Things are so bad for the Cardinals that Florida Preacher is threatening to burn the rest of their schedule. How about Roger Ebert? You know, he hasn't been on TV since 2006. They basically had to take the entire bottom third of his face and jaw off. He had cancer. I think it was a salivary gland or something. Just awful. You know, the guy can't even talk. He's got no tongue or mouth or anything like that. But he's coming back to TV, because At the Movies is returning first of the year. They're going to have two new hosts, a guy and a gal. And Roger is going to appear on the show, and they're going to use a computer-generated voice for him. Let's see how this works out. Glee. Is there anything bigger than Glee right now? They're going to do a show dedicated to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Meatloaf and Barry Bostwick will be on that show. Will Ferrell is nuts. I think we all knew that, but he's even funnier and nuttier than I thought he was. Now they say he's working on a movie that's going to be in Spanish with English subtitles in the style of those overly dramatic soap operas that they have in Latin America. I'm all over this one. This is fantastic. Aretha Franklin wrote her autobiography a couple of years ago, and they're making it into a movie. They're starting to cast it, and Aretha has gone on record as saying who she would like to have play her in the movie. You know who it is? Halle Berry. Right, because they look exactly alike. In other news, Carrot Top is doing his autobiography too. Wants Brad Pitt to play him. Michael Richards. Okay, so everybody knew him from Seinfeld. Before that, he was in the Al Yankovic movie, Weird Al Yankovic. Those of us who know him well don't have to put the weird in. UHF. Hey, kids, who wants to drink from the fire hose? You know, the kid gets plastered to the other side of the room. And then before that, on the Saturday Night Live ripoff that ABC had on the air back in the early 1980s, it was called Fridays. And, you know, Seinfeld goes off the air. Michael, apparently feeling a little stress, is doing a comedy club. I guess it was about 2 years ago, and just has this racially charged rant where he just goes nuts. It was big news. Now, Michael Richards is being sued by an L.A. photographer who says Michael knocked him down and kicked him. It's hard to find a sympathetic side in that story, you know. Divine Brown. I'm going to give you a moment to roll that one around in your head. Divine Brown. You know who she is? 1995, Hugh Grant is driving down the street in Los Angeles and sees this street walking hoe and pulls her over for a quick Hummer. They get busted. He ends up on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. That moment when he says, "What the hell were you thinking?" to Hugh Grant, that was the thing that propelled Jay Leno over David Letterman for the first time, and then Jay went on and never looked back after that. That was the one that put Jay Leno in first place. Anyhow, Divine Brown is getting married. But the story gets better than that. She wants to invite Hugh Grant because she said it was the defining moment in her life. It turned her life around. Get this. She spent 180 days in jail for that Hummer. Fines of $1,350. But get this. Because of all the media deals that she cut from all the publicity as a result of this Hugh Grant incident, she made $1.6 million. $1.6 million. Put her kids through college. There's a lot of things I don't understand anymore. All right, AOL Radio, whoever they are, have put together a list of the 100 worst songs ever. In the top 10, Macarena Ebony and Ivory. Oh, yeah. I'm too sexy for my shirt from Right Said Fred. I am woman. Hear me roar. Helen Reddy. You can't touch this. MC Hammer. She bangs. Ricky Martin. Ice Ice Baby. Vanilla Ice. Who Let the Dogs Out? And number 1, It's Time to Beat Dat Beat. DJ Pauly D. Never heard of it. Hope never to have to. Number 14 was Convoy. Bop by Hanson. Number 17, Achy Breaky Heart. Billy Ray Cyrus at 18. 4 Non-Blondes. What's Up was number 20. It's not a bad list. I know they missed some, but that's not a bad start. Keith Griffin of Jensen Beach, Florida. Last August, arrested for having more than 1,000 images of child porn on his computer. The police come along, and he offers up one of the worst excuses of all time. Griffin told them that his cat jumped onto the keyboard and somehow downloaded all the child porn. Last week, he pleaded no contest to 25 felony charges of possession of child pornography, 12.5 years in prison. He has to register as a sex offender. All right, Oprah goes into high gear starting today. The farewell season premiere, John Travolta and Paul Simon. Odd choice, not what I would have imagined. Bill Maher is on Leno tonight. Real Time on HBO returns on Friday. All right, Video Village. We got brand new features for you this week on our weekly features. And the Video Village goes back to 1997 for a very brief period of time. The forces that be in Las Vegas thought it would be a great idea if they made Vegas family friendly. And it didn't go over very well, especially in the mind of Wayne Newton. I was out there in 97 to interview him for the Chevy Chase movie Vegas Vacation, and he really had a lot to say. So we're running that from Wayne Newton in 1997 on the Video Village. The Wayback Machine, oh boy, Alan Barklage, who did traffic helicopter reporting for 20 years in this town. It was part of our show, the Old Breakfast Club, on Classic Rock KSD from 87 to 91, died in that crash in 98. But in 1991, some guy jumped off a bridge into the river, and Alan came flying in and picked him up. A lot of people have second thoughts after they're bobbing around. They're like, why did I do this? So Alan flies in, rescues the guy, gives him another chance at life, fished him out, and that gave Rick Edlund of Channel 5 a chance to tell an even bigger and much better story about Alan Barklage. We have that for you on the Wayback Machine. You ought to see it. We are starting a new feature today called JC's Old School Photo, and we're back to 1989 on the trip to Los Angeles to interview Kim Basinger for the movie Batman, Vicki Vale herself. It's a great photo. Check it out. All right, JC's Eye Candy today, as we said, a series of photos from that crazy Tea Party. What does she call herself? The Smokin' Granny from Kentucky, driving her Tea Party mobile. You can check that out on JC's Eye Candy. It's right there. Tomorrow, 5 types of co-workers you should not become friends with. Also, it's Celebrity Tuesday. We'll talk to you then. Tell your friends we're here at jcontheline.com. In the meantime, that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Monday, September 13th, 2010. A cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.